Hi friends, so good morning and welcome to this class, and I hope you're all keeping fine. I know most of you are not watching the video, you are only waiting for class notes to write, but remember that in order to understand you need to listen to the video. By writing down the class notes and by hearting it, you may not have much knowledge, but by listening and asking your doubts, you will have more knowledge. So try to make use of this opportunity and learn maximum. And I believe that you remember something that you heard yesterday, those who heard. And we are talking about two types of sectors. A division that is based on organized and unorganized labor. And we saw organized laborers are people who are working in the offices. They have fixed time of work, they have fixed salary, and they have extra allowances, and they have paid leaves and so on. So they have a lot of advantages are there. And when they get retired after a certain age, they even get pension. So they have a lot of advantages. But on the other hand, the unorganized sectors are people who are working in the agriculture farm or laborers, those who are carrying headloads, those who are working in the roadsides, those who are selling vegetables on the roadside. All these people are working in the unorganized sector. They have no provision, no support from the government. If they work, they can have something. If they don't work, then they don't get any money. So their situation is really bad. So we expect the government to do something for these people who are working in the unorganized sector, so that their life also may be secure. That is our earnest desire. That is our earnest request to the government. And you can take your page number 31. A few workouts are there. You can see. We will do this exercise now. So page number 31, workout. Look at the following examples. Which of these are unorganized sector activities? Which are the, so they have given 7 kinds of works, and you have to identify which one belongs to unorganized sector. The first one, a teacher taking class in a school. So a teacher's work is organized. So it is an organized one. Then a head load worker carrying a bag of cement on his back in a market. So a person who is carrying a cement bag on his head. Is it unorganized or organized? So it is a unorganized. His work is not steady. Every day he will not have this work to do. And number 3, a farmer irrigating her field. A farmer irrigating her field, that also is unorganized. Then a doctor in a hospital treating a patient. So a doctor, that is organized sector. Then a daily wage laborer working under a contractor. So a man who is working under as a daily laborer. He is an unorganized sector. Then number 6. A factory worker going to work in a big factory. So a factory worker who is going to work in a big factory. So he will be considered as a regular staff, and his work will be organized sector. So he will have a lot of fixed salary, fixed hours of work, and so on. Then number 7. A handloom weaver working in her house. So a person who is weaving clothes in the handloom in her own house. So that is also unorganized sector. There is no surety. Every day she will have the work and so on. So if she does work, she will get the money, she will get the profit. If she is not working, then she will not get the money and so on. So which are the unorganized? We will say again. Number 2, 3, 5 and 7. They are all unorganized sector. Then take question number 2. Talk to someone who has a regular job in the organized sector and another who works in the unorganized sector. Compare and contrast their working conditions in all aspects. So you have to do interview for some people. Find out a person who is working in the organized sector, that is a person who is working in the office, and a person who is working in the farm, unorganized sector. So you talk to them separately. Ask them questions. How do they feel? How much salary do they get? Or what are the allowances that they get? Or how do they feel about their future? Are they worried? Are they tense? And so on. And also ask the same question to a farmer who is working in the paddy field, unorganized sector. So try to find out the difference between these two people, how do they feel, and so on. Then question 3. How would you distinguish between organized sector and unorganized sector? Explain in your own words. So as we already explained yesterday, the difference between organized sector and unorganized sector. So a person who is working in the organized sector, so organized sector will have lot of process will be there. So we said it has got certain formal practices and procedures. So the rules are made there. What each member is supposed to do, how much their salary will be there, what are the allowances that they have, how much time they have to work, all that will be written down there nicely. So there is no confusion, there is no change and so on. But in the unorganized sector, nothing is fixed. They may have to work extra time, but they will not get extra pay. They may have to work every day, even including a holiday. If they don't work, then they will not get paid and so on. So there is no written format and so on in the unorganized sector. So there is no regular pay, no extra advantage and so on. Then in number 4, there is one table is given there. The table below shows the estimated number of workers in India in the organized and unorganized sectors. Read the table carefully. Fill in the missing data and answer the questions that follow. So, a table is given there. You can see here. A table is given there and the data it is. You can see the data. Is it clear? So, what is not written there, you have to fill it up. So, the first sector we can see primary sector, and there organized, the number of people are given in millions. So, in the primary sector, let us make the column nicely. Sector, organized, unorganized, total. So these are the different sections. So here we come to primary sector. The primary sector, we have in the organized sector 1 million people working there. In the organized sector, in the primary sector, those who are working as an organized worker, they are only 1 million. And the total people working in the primary sector are 232 millions. So total people working in the primary sector are 232 millions. And out of them only 1 million are working in organized sector. So here you have to fill up. So how many people will be working here? Total is 232 and 1 is working here. Then balance will be how much? 231. So you can see the difference. Out of this 232 million people, only 1 million got chance to work as officers, was as a organized worker, but such a vast majority, 231 million people are working in the unorganized sector. They have no job security at all. Then the secondary sector, we find in the organized sector 41 million people are working. 41 million people are working. In the unorganized sector, 74 million are working. Then total will be 115. Then the third one is tertiary sector. In the tertiary sector, we find there are 40 million people working in the organized sector, 88 million working in the unorganized sector, and the total is 172. So it should not be 172, it should be 128 supposed to be. So that is a printing mistake in your book. So it should be 128 million. Then total percentage. So this will be 17.26%. Then here it will be 82.73%. Then it will be here 100%. So you can imagine in the organized sector only 17.26% of people are working. The vast majority 82.73% are working in the unorganized sector. So you can see the difference. How the people in India will feel insecure, especially people who are working in this unorganized sector. How much insecure they will feel, and so on. So you have to write this chart in your notebooks plus the objective questions that we already discussed here. So write down in your notebook and send me the photos. Okay, so don't forget, nicely write it in your notebook, and I'll wipe it off. Now let us see how to protect the workers in the unorganized sector. So we saw so many workers are there. Almost 83% of the people are working in the unorganized sector. So how to protect them? So how to protect the workers? That is what we are going to see. What can we do in order to protect these people who are especially working in this sector, unorganized sector? So we find that everybody is interested in getting work in the organized sector. I hope you understand what is the reason behind. Organized sector means people who have got a permanent job, office job, a permanent salary and so on. So everybody want to get that government job or an office job which will get a good pay and secure your future. So that is the competition is there everywhere. That's why people are studying and getting more and more qualification so that they will have the opportunity to get job and so on. But the employment opportunity in the country is not expanding so much. More and more people are getting qualified, more and more people are waiting for job, but we find the job opportunity, the new job opportunities are not so much. So because of that, we can say the people are getting desperate. They study very hard, they go for training, they get extra qualification, all that, but after doing all these things, they are not getting an opportunity to get job. Because of that, they get discouraged. And it is very common to find that many organized sector enterprises are in the unorganized sector. So another thing that these people do, the people who are running companies and other factories and so, they are supposed to belong to organized sector. But in the organized sector, we know government has given a lot of rules and regulations, and these companies or these offices, they have to follow all these rules given by the government. If they don't follow, then government will catch them. So in order to escape from the government rules and regulations and the taxes to be paid to the government and so, what do? The organized sector, they will go and work in the unorganized sector. For example, they will go and set up the factory in the village, in the rural area, and they will call the people of that village come and work here, and they will not follow. They are supposed to follow the rules of the organized sector. They are supposed to have good salary and TA, PF, the allowances, pension, all that. But since they are quietly going and setting up in the village level where the unorganized people are staying, then they will be escaping all these rules of the government, and they will be paying them very less salary, because in the village people are very happy to get even a small job, a small amount of money and so. So these people, those who are running company and so, they will take advantage of these poor people in the rural area, and they will set up their factory, company, all that very quietly in order to get more results. And so a large number of people, when they set up in the village, all the people in that village area will be invited to come and join the factory and work in the factory for a very minimum salary and so on. And they are very often exploited, and these people, since they are in the unorganized sector, they have no much education, they have no much quality or talent and so on. They will be asked, you do this work, and they have to do this work. Sometimes they will be fired, sometimes they will be sent away, or sometimes they will be paid very low salary, sometimes they will be scolded and so on. So all that kind of exploitation is taking place in the rural area by some of the big companies. They are trying to cheat the government, and they are trying to cheat the people also. And from 1990 onwards, we can say it is common to see a large number of workers losing their job in the organized sector. So in the year 1990 onwards, we can see even people who are working in the organized sector, a number of people are losing their job. Maybe the company is running on a loss, and so they cannot keep so many staff and pay the salary, so they say, I am going to dismiss this many staff because we have no profit, we are running on loss, so we dismiss this many staff. So such kind of works are taken up, or such kind of things are taking place, and these four workers are forced to take up jobs in the unorganized sector. Suppose if they are dismissed from this organized sector, they have no more job, so what to do? So they will go to this unorganized sector. They will be going and working in the farm, they may be digging, or they may be carrying things as a coolie, or they may be digging the field, or they may be going for some other work and so on. So in the unorganized sector, they will do anything because they need some money for survival, to look after their family and so on. And so they need more work, and therefore they are ready to do any work, whether it is in the unorganized sector also, they don't mind. And there is also a need for protection and support of the workers in the unorganized sector. So more and more people come and join in this unorganized sector. What will happen? We said in the other day, a field is there where 5 people can work, but in that family there are 8 members. So 5 people working means that work will be complete and they will be able to produce maximum grain, maximum harvest from that field. So 3 people more are there in that family, they have no other work, therefore all the 8 go and work in that field, and because of 3 people working extra, we are not getting any extra production or extra harvest from that field. The harvest remains same, the grain remains same. Whether 5 people work or 8 people work, the maximum is produced. So since these 3 people, they have no other work, they also come and work. In the same way, when from organized sector people lose their job, they come and work in the unorganized sector. So the number of people is increasing in working in the unorganized sector. Accordingly, the work also should increase. Otherwise, some people will lose job here, unorganized sector also. Only those who are smart will get the chance to work, and those who are weak, those who are not smart, they will be pushed down, they will lose that job also. So it is very important that more and more people are entering into unorganized sector because they don't have job opportunity in the organized sector. We need to make sure that the work is increasing in the unorganized sector. So people who are these vulnerable and they need protection. So people who are working in this unorganized sector, they need protection because they are not sure about tomorrow's job. Today they are doing something, but today they are asked to come and work in the farm. Tomorrow they are not sure they will be called to work or not. So we need to give them protection. And especially in the rural areas, the unorganized sector mostly comprises of landless agricultural laborers. So if you go to these rural areas, most of the people will be working in this unorganized sector, especially people who are having farmers with a very small area. They are having very small field. Or people who are doing other workers like sharecroppers. Sharecropper means those who don't have land, they go and work in others' lands. There may be a rich man in the village, he has got plenty of land and he is not making use of it. And so a man who does not have land can go and work in his land. And he have to pay something for him. Maybe he had to pay certain amount of grain for him at the end of the harvest. So that kind of agreement they can make. So that those people are also called working in the unorganized sector. Then there are also people who are doing weavers. In the many houses in the village, you will find women sitting and weaving clothes, shawls, sweaters, mufflers, and so on. So they are working in the unorganized sector. They have no proper work. Then there are people who are working as a blacksmith, making knives and other tools. Or there are also people who are working as carpenters, goldsmith, and so on. Then nearly we can say 80% of the people of the rural households in India and in small and marginal farmer category. So out of these 100% of people living in the rural area, out of the 100%, 80% are this working in the unorganized sector, or they are small and poor and marginal farmers. So remember, in India, we are not talking about all the people of India, but people who are living in rural areas. So 80% of the rural people are doing this kind of small works, and they are marginal farmer category. They are small farmer category. They are not in the organized sector, but they are unorganized sector. And these farmers need to be supported through adequate facility for timely delivery of seeds. So since they are very marginal farmer, they have no much extra income, they are not able to survive on their own, and therefore they need support. They need support of the government, panchayat government, or local government, or village government, whatever it may be. They need some support. They need to get some loan at least in the beginning to buy seeds, maybe to buy other inputs. Maybe they have to plow the field, so they have to hire the tractor, or they have to buy the facilities, they have to buy the chemical fertilizers and so on. Or they should have the facilities for storage after the harvest. They cannot carry all the way and straight away go to the town for selling it, but there should be a godown for storing up the grain and so on. So for all this, they cannot do on their own. They need the help of government in order to get help, in order to get support. So that is very much important. Otherwise, they cannot improve. They cannot improve their cultivation. They will always remain in the unorganized sector as a marginal farmer, as a poor farmer, and their economic condition will never improve. But if they get some help from the government, certainly they can improve their case day by day, and they can show better performance in their life, and the economic condition of the family also will improve. So we earnestly hope and desire that the government will come to be aware about the poor farmer situation. People who are working, 80% of the people working in the unorganized sector, government will come to their help and help them to come out of their misery and lead them to liberate, at least in the economic field. So today we shall wind up, and we will come back tomorrow again and see what more help, what more support they can get from the government, and how they can improve their financial situations. So thank you for listening. Have a nice day.